Fixing your metabolism could be the missing piece of this whole puzzle when it comes to finally achieving success with your weight loss journey. Welcome back, Weight Warriors. If you're someone who's on a fat loss journey like I am, or you're planning to start one, I'm Mike, fat guy who's trying to not be fat anymore by making lifestyle changes. In this video, we're going to be talking about metabolism again, because metabolism is so important for a weight loss journey. And I talk about it all the time, but this video what we're going to be talking about is what if you don't have a good metabolism, or we say, what if you have a slow metabolism, meaning your body just really doesn't need to burn very many calories. Like maybe you've been yo-yo dieting for years and you've been living off of like 800 calories. And the crazy thing about that is some people actually do that, which is really unfortunate, because when you're living off of like 800 calories, when you go off the rails and have a surplus day of even like 500 calories, it feels like you gain so much weight and you really lose so much progress. But really it comes back down to your metabolism is all out of whack and you've been doing damage with all of these yo-yo diets. Ask me how I know. So looking at it like this, what if you don't have a good metabolism? What if you're starting at this with doing the yo-yo diets, with just doing so much damage to your metabolism, and it's this slow, non-working thing that you got going on here? Well, there are ways that you can fix it, but before we get to that, let's talk about the components of your metabolism that we need to fix. So your metabolism really consists of three main parts. You have your basal metabolic rate, which again, this is the energy that your body burns at complete and total rest. We call this coma calories. We call it coma calories because again, it's essentially like how much energy would your body burn if you were literally in a coma. And second, you have the thermic effect of food, and this refers to the energy that's required to digest and absorb and really process the food that you eat, which is kind of nice because then you know that the food that you eat actually does take energy to absorb into your system. And then finally, you have physical activity, and you can call this NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or EAT, which is the exercise activity thermogenesis. But for the sake of this video, let's just combine those both into physical activity, and we'll call it exercise and non-exercise. So these three things play a significant role in your overall calories burned. But unfortunately, it's not an exact math. You can't just plug everything into a calculator and get the actual data of how your body's burning, because that calculator doesn't know how you've been living your life for the past few years. And again, if let's say you're this hypothetical person who's been yo-yo dieting for like 5 years, and specifically over the last like 2 years, you've been really cutting your calories to nothing, you have done metabolic damage, and that needs to be repaired. And there are things that you can do to repair this, but unfortunately, there are some things that you really can't do anything about. And that has to do with your age, your genetics, your muscle mass, your hormonal balances, and all these things that really are out of your control also play a role, but they're not the end all be all, and nothing really here is set in stone. Things that you can control are your diet. As we age, our metabolism tends to slow down because we do lose muscle mass as we get older. There are also genetic factors that can determine your baseline metabolic rate. And again, hormone imbalances, you may not really know what's going on there, but with those three things, they are not in your control. So let's try to focus on things that we can control. So I talked about earlier metabolic damage. One of the best things that you can do to fight that is actually building lean muscle mass. And how do you build muscle? Well, you do it through exercise, which is great because exercise can also boost your metabolism and can even help with some of those hormone imbalances along the way. Now, along with having good exercise and more muscle mass and doing resistance training, of course, what you eat and drink has a significant impact on your metabolism. So how do you know if you've really done this metabolic damage or your metabolism is slow? So there are some warning signs that you can look out for, but again, this is mostly for those people who have been doing the yo-yo dieting or have been really cutting their calories way too low. I'm talking about under 1,600 calories per day for a man, under 1,200 calories per day for a woman for an extended period of time. I would call an extended period of time probably over 6 months. And let's say you've been doing this consistently and you have plateaued, meaning you are not losing any weight for more than, I don't know, probably like 8 weeks at a time. So if this is you, yeah, you've probably done some metabolic damage. Your metabolism is slow and you're probably feeling it in other ways. So along with the plateau that we discussed, you also may experience weight gain by, like I said, just adding a little bit more calories. You also are obviously, having difficulty losing weight. And I'm going to guess that you're also experiencing low energy levels and a tendency to feel cold. You're probably not having as good digestion, not as good sleep. There are a lot of indicators that you are literally starving yourself and your metabolism will need a boost to recover. And there are some strategies that you can implement to fix your metabolism and support your weight loss goals. Let's start with nutrition. Obviously, if you've been cutting it way too low, you need to start ramping that up. I definitely would recommend that you look into what's called a reverse diet. This is where you slowly start to add calories to your consumption, trying to not gain weight too quickly here, because really you're just trying to get back to what your maintenance level is. Now, I have heard some studies of some people who just do 2 weeks of eating in a surplus to recover from this metabolic damage. I personally haven't tried that yet, but I definitely recommend that you consult with your nutrition coach or your healthcare provider to see if they have any suggestions for you. But portion control and tracking is really key here. Consuming too few calories for too long can slow down your metabolic rate, and obviously consuming too many calories can also have some negative side effects, especially if you're trying to lose weight. It's hard to lose weight when you're in a caloric surplus. So try to have an appropriate deficit when you're losing weight, and also aim to have a balanced mix of macronutrients, like things like lean proteins, complex carbs, and healthy fats. And really, another one is don't forget to stay hydrated. Water plays a crucial role in your metabolism and can really obviously aid in your weight loss progress. And then another really important tool when it comes to fixing your metabolism is strength training. By incorporating resistance training into your routine, you can build lean muscle mass, and obviously the more muscle that you have, the more calories you'll burn even at rest. So strength training is really going to give your metabolism this boost, and it's going to start helping you along the way, just beyond recovering from this metabolic damage. It's going to help you further down the road so you burn more calories at rest. Now, we talk about taking care of the big things. We'll reference it as the 80-20 rule, or moving the big rocks first. So we've talked about your nutrition, trying to repair your metabolic damage. We talked about resistance training, but probably the most important one, if this isn't set up right, then you're not going to have any improvement whatsoever with pretty much anything in your life. But if you're not getting good quality sleep, just doesn't, everything else is secondary to making sure you are getting good quality sleep. And what we mean by good quality sleep is essentially if you're not getting more than 7 hours as an adult. Kids need a little bit more time than that, but really you should be somewhere between the 7 to 9 hours of restful sleep each night. If you're one of those who are trying to live off of 4 to 5 hours of sleep, I got bad news for you. It's not going to work. It doesn't matter what other changes you implement in your life. You're not going to see results. Getting enough sleep helps regulate hormones that control appetite and obviously your metabolism. So it also helps you manage your stress levels, which managing stress, from what I see, chronic stress can have a negative impact on your metabolism. So really make sure that your sleep is taken care of, and make sure that you're not stressing out all the time. So fixing your metabolism is absolutely within reach and something that you can do. You can optimize your nutrition, incorporate strength training. Obviously, prioritizing that sleep and stress management is very important, all while staying hydrated. These things can really help boost your metabolism and help you recover if you've been one who's experiencing metabolic damage or a slow metabolism. All this stuff really helps support your weight loss journey. And remember, this is all unique to you, and this is a marathon, not a sprint, and everyone's metabolism is unique and different. So try to be patient and kind to yourself and implement these strategies gradually, unless it's sleep. Try to fix that sleep right away. But other thing, the things like nutrition and resistance training, try to just ramp that up and get a little bit better each and every day. But listen to your body. And if you have any health conditions or health concerns, I highly recommend that you consult your healthcare provider, your doctor, make sure that everything is good. And I definitely recommend that you get support either with a nutritional coach, or you can join the Weight Warriors Facebook group. We're a bunch of guys who are losing weight together, and we'd love to have you. You ask your questions. Mostly we're sharing memes, but definitely join the group and we'll chat with you there.